Everyone, whichever location you are, whichever geo you are. First of all, thank you so much for taking time and joining this webinar. It's my privilege to be part of this webinar, and thank you for the Time Champ team to invite me and then making me part of this wonderful opportunity. My name is Prabhakar Cherukuri. I also go as PC in the industry. I've been with LTI Mindtree for last 6.5 years. I've been playing multiple roles. Primarily, I come from delivery background. I have more than 25 years of experience. Been with multiple other organizations, whether it is IT, non-IT, and so on. Now, currently, I'm dealing the digital transformation initiative across LTI Mindtree, and I'm based out of Hyderabad. So today's topic, of course, every one of us are keen and to know about what's burnout is all about. I've been, dealing with it, have seen it, especially during the COVID time. And of course, after that, we have been continue to see what kind of situations that we are going through. And if any one of you have actually seen it, there is a recent article that has come on Times of India as well, where it talks about the burnout and what kind of how technology can be adopted by all of us to make sure that the burnout can be minimized. And we can take that opportunity using the technology. We can minimize the burnout not only for ourselves but also most importantly for our team as well. So today, for the next 45 minutes or the 60 minutes or so, we are going to talk about the burnout. It's a very important topic, and it's very critical, especially people who are in the IT industry. As we all know, we don't deal with any of the fixed assets per se. That's like machineries and so on. We are all work with the intelligence that we have, and that's where the whole or the whole burnout starts from. So I have a couple of slides that I wanted all of you to walk you through, and then I will hand it over to our colleagues, the Time Champ friends. They are going to talk about the tools that are available, what kind of technology that are available to make all of us our life, especially our team's lives, also much more easier, better, and then more efficient and productive. Let's move on. So what's the agenda going to be today? Yeah, it's going to be fun for next 45 minutes or so. As I said, we are going to talk about how the burnout is actually going to impact us and our teams. What are the strategies? How we have to identify the fatigue? Because I deal large teams, I can actually talk about my own experience, especially in the last 6 years, is during the COVID, after COVID, and all that. A lot of things have changed. We are going to talk about that. What are the kind of success story? How we can actually make use of the tools that are available? What are the early signs that we see, especially in the teams that are available currently that we are dealing with, and how the technology, kind of is going to help us. And then we will hand it over to the for the tool demo, and obviously, we can obviously have further conversations. That's the agenda. And of course, who is this session for? Of course, every session, every knowledge nuggets that we go through, they are meant for certain level of people across certain personas, people who deal with. Primarily, this, of course, this session is for everyone, but predominantly this session is for people who are handling or who are dealing with people. So all the HR heads, people operations teams, HR business partners, large organizations will have function wise, account wise business partners who deal with people day in, day out. Delivery managers, project managers, they deal with people day in, day out. Right. And of course, anyone who is managing people, of course, they can be a team lead and other people and so on. And of course, it is for the individual employees as well. How me as an individual employee, I'll be able to look at my own information, how I'll be able to see my own work pattern, and then how I need to manage my work in such a way that I am not moving to the direction of burnout. So this is what the personas that we are going to, who are going to get benefited from this session. I'll move on. As we say, it always happens. What I have seen is that, up till a particular period of time, whether it is a month, whether it is 15 days, whether it is past 3 months or so, we take up large amount of projects. We commit to certain timelines. We commit to, as delivery managers, project managers, and so on, we commit to certain, the deliverables that need to be given to our customers. We commit to certain other things that as part of the contract that we sign with the customer. At the same time, it is also important for all of us to really understand about our people's pattern, our team's pattern as well on a regular basis. Most of the time, what happens is that, we get busy in the deliverable, in the work, with the working with the customer, so things. And on a weekly basis, we do so much of reporting to our internal organizations, to the customer, and so on and so forth. There are different functions who come to us, like it's a quality function, HR function, delivery excellence function, finance function from the invoicing point of view, and so on and so forth. Lot of teams, they come to us, they ask about a lot of information. We keep putting the deliverables or the pressure onto the team, expecting that they are going to deliver. While everything might be going well, at some point of time we might be, facing a situation where, okay, everything is going good till last month or so, but what happened, I mean, since November I am seeing a different pattern per se. I'm seeing that, it seems that the team is spending huge amount of effort on their system or whatsoever. We see them almost every day in the office as well, but the deliverables are getting skipped out slowly, right? The deliverables are getting delayed for whatsoever. But at the same time, we do not have a scientific mechanism to really find out what's happening here. Even though we speak to the team, they say that, yeah, everything is going well, it's all good, they are doing good, there is no issue with them, and so on and so forth. However, when we actually see, what happens is that slowly there is a disengagement starts happening. There are people who starts taking some frequent leaves. There are people who suddenly starts applying for sick leaves, and so on and so forth. What it does to us as a project manager or as a delivery manager or any other roles that we are actually dealing with the people, what happens is that obviously it is going to impact our deliverables, what we have. But more importantly, we will get concerned about the team. What's happening with them? Why the team is suddenly, in a situation where they have to take consistent leaves or maybe half days. They say that, yeah, they have to go to a medical, treatment or to a doctor, and so on and so forth, right? It's not a good sign, obviously, for all of us. Especially we are in this delivery business or we are in the IT industry. At the same time, because we don't know, people don't speak up, we cannot actually find out. There is no actual scientific way we can find out saying that the person is really, struggling with something, and we can actually be able to help them through some kind of a coaching or a counseling or reduce their workload. We'll talk about it more in the upcoming slides as well. Here we will see one of the classic example. She is a delivery head. She manages 10 projects across, 180, 200 people. And at the same time, as I was actually explaining in the previous scenario, obviously Neha would not know that what is happening to her whole deliverables of all the 200 people. And in the current world where people are working spread across the globe, globally, spread across geos, multiple locations, multiple time zones, it becomes extremely difficult for Neha to really identify the working patterns across the locations, across the teams. She would not be able to know because she is not meeting them on a day-to-day basis in person. Of course, there are teams meetings, there are stand-up calls and all that happens, but they can do only so much. They'll not be able to really unearth the real problem that's happening behind with the team. And because the team is overworked, because the team is really struggling to meet with the timelines that we have committed to the customer, because the team, many a times what happens is that they have to take the load of someone else who has already gone on leave for some other situation or for some other reason. This person actually takes over additional load, and then they actually start getting into supporting the actual project deliverables. Neha as a team, as a delivery head, is unable to really manage or unable to really get to know about what's happening. She doesn't have a comprehensive and a consolidated view across what is happening among her team. which personally I have also gone through. As I said, during the COVID time, after COVID time, like post-COVID time, we really do not have a consolidated view of across what's the team, team performance. More than performance, I would say their well-being part. It's not about their deliverables. Now we are more interested and more keen to know about the well-being of the employee. Deliverables will continue to happen. If not today, there may be a justified reason to deliver them even in a couple of next, few days or so, with the right reason if we can provide to the customer. But it is very important that we should take care of our employees, their well-being, and also they should feel that psychological safety that they should come forward, talk to us and share their concern if there are any, especially related to their health, they are overstretching, they are, unable to deliver within the time because they are going through a particular situation. And this is a kind of situation that Neha is also going through. So that's a live example. Usually what happens is that, the early signs as, any of the leader or any of the project manager or people managers would not be able to find such kind of a, patterns. They would not be able to find out what's happening. Sometimes it may so happen that, there are teams who are continuously overstretching themselves. At the same time, there are some teams who are waiting for some work to be given. So that workload balancing to make sure that everyone is performing equally, no one is actually stretching beyond the, the timelines that are given or beyond 7 hours a day, 6 hours a day, actual productive time, beyond that, if someone is stretching, then it's a cause of concern for all of us. And we should be able to find those patterns scientifically to see that if there are opportunities, if there are people among our team who can take up the load of people who are actually overstretching themselves. That's one of the way that I looked at it when I did that exercise, and I worked with the same team, and then we could able to find these patterns in such a way that I could able to find out what are those outlier cases who are like deep green on the other side. That means they are overstretching themselves. And then there are like grayed out cases where they have an opportunity to take up the load from the people who are overstretching. So we'll talk about it. And because of this, what happens, as I said, there a lot of disengagement also starts happening. Apart from the leaves that people take, there are disengagement activities also. People, they either not respond, their quality of the deliverables dip, right? And at the same time, they also have kind of an emotional detachment. They will be lone, they'll not be meeting anywhere, they'll not be coming in front of the camera, when you have some teams meeting and so on and so forth. They'll not be joining any of your kind of, team activities, right? So these kind of activities or these kind of things are also a sign for all of us to be immediately taken action. And finally, what happens? The outcome of all this results in quitting of the employee from our organization. The employee comes one day, he or she says that, hey, PC or Neha in this case, that I have to leave. The reason, they may not be still be able to share the real reason. They may say that, no, no, I got a better opportunity. I got something else. It is close to my home and I'll be able to do this or something else and so on. I can stay close to my parents and all that. They may not be really be able to open up because they still feel that, amount of psychological safety is lacking. What my leader is going to think about me? Will he be able to release me on time? Right? Will I have to still continue to overstretch? Will me sharing this openly is going to impact my other team members who are working? All these thoughts will come, especially people who are, they have just started their career or who come with kind of 3 years, 5 years, 8 years of experience people, right? This is where adoption of technology, because I firmly believe I drive the digital transformation in large organization like LTI Mindtree. Adoption of technology is very crucial for all of us to make sure that we are dealing with such kind of burnout situations and deal with it much, much better, more humanely. Of course, technology is going to help us. It's going to, contribute to us by giving the data points to us. But finally, the actual action need to be taken by us. The data is good, the information is going to be shared with us with some highlights, with some touch points saying that, okay, these are the insights that you can look at. out of your 180 people, these are the outlier cases that you should be looking at. You should actually focus on these. This is how you can actually start working, balancing the whole, team that you have, and thus providing a very healthy environment in your team. But finally, the actions need to be taken by us. We, as the leaders, we need to take the relevant actions, make sure working with our respective HR business partners or HR ops teams and so on, bring them also into the system, into our project, work with them, make sure maybe we can actually make sure that, we can actually, at some point of time, I remember that immediately struck me. I actually brought in one of the psychological coach in my project during COVID time because that situation was very kind of scary situation for all of us, right? So at that point of time, I had actually invited one of the psychological coach, who had come and who helped us to really plan our day better, how we can actually work for not only for ourselves, for our team and for everyone. I had conducted this kind of a session for more than like 200 plus people, and that actually started giving us better results. And we, of course, we continued that similar kind of activities on a regular basis so that the team collaboration gets better and the team actually moves into the normal phase of their life. Now, okay, what's it all about? It's all about, the kind of numbers, right? What the research talks about. While I can talk about from my experience, what the research talks about, right? So what it says fundamentally is that 1 out of 3 employees in the organization are in the path towards the path of burnout, which is very risky and which is very scary for all of us, especially in this tech kind of exploration world where things are changing so much on a daily basis. It's very important for all of us to take care of this, the psychological issue of burnout. And these are some top research organizations, Deloitte, Gallup, Forbes, Gallup, and others, who actually are talking about how the employees are experiencing burnout in their organization, in their work environment, and how they are dealing with it. There are researches available, in the social in the market as well, where we can go and study how the employees are dealing with or people are dealing with burnouts. Because what's happening these days is that, it's not about the professional work. There is a thin line, even that is getting blurred out between the professional work and the personal work or the personal life, what we have, right? Because the channels of communication are becoming so much, right from your mobile. You can, the moment that you wake up in the morning, you start checking your mobile, right? You check your mails, you check your Teams, you check your WhatsApp and whatnot, right? We are continuously connected. There is no way that we can actually move out and go out of, and say that, okay, I'm actually moving out, I'm shutting off everything. And then, after Monday morning only, I will start. Friday evening, I'm closing. Monday morning, it's not the case. Many a times people say that, yeah, we have to do meditation, yoga, and there are other methods. But how many of us are really, implementing those in our life? If someone is using it or if someone is implementing it, fantastic. They may not be reaching to this stage of burnout, but it's definitely a call. It's definitely a caution for all of us to be cautious about this. So this is the research talks, and by the way, I was at the Gartner event 2 weeks back at Kochi, Gartner IT Symposium. Even there, they talk about, AI can obviously do so much. It is going to help us, obviously, even in this case also, AI is going to be helpful to us in providing us all the insights that as a leader that we can look at to make sure that how the work-life balance of the team can get better. We need to plan our day, our project, our deliverables in such a way that the team or including us do not move towards the burnout stage. Okay, let's do this poll. You can actually call it out. You can maybe put it on the T on the chat on the kind of chat, and mention about what do you think about how often do you feel teams disengagement cycle actually signals go beyond unnoticed. Okay, I hope people are voting. So let's see, what the outcome comes. Maybe after the session, we will really see how the responses are coming in. In my case, I would definitely, obviously, I will go with C. We often realize only after the performance drops. That's the usual case that happens. Now, of course, with the technology and all that, we are moving from C to B and so on and so forth, right? And A, if you are in A situation, then fantastic, obviously. But in the large organization or in the teams where they are spread geo-wise and different locations and so on, virtual teams and all that, many a cases it is actually in where we are all are in D or C, right? And this is really a red place for us. We really want to move from D and C to B to A. That's the stage that we should be moving towards. I'll move on. So yeah, top causes of burnout, as I was talking about, whether it is heavy workloads, the workloads are given, where people really think that, maybe the project manager or the delivery manager or whoever is the person, the planning could have actually not gone well, right? That's where the workloads actually go haywire without understanding the individual team members' capability, the individual team members' strengths, the individual team members, their own reasons, and so on, what's their experience, and so on, right? The workload actually being divided in such a way that it is very much like skewed and it is not so balanced. And obviously, the unrealistic deadlines, it is actually me looking like into the mirror. Many a times, we give the timelines which the customer likes, unfortunately, or so, right? Because many a times, we don't go back to them and say that we are unable to justify them. They always come says that, hey, I want this like today evening. So the unrealistic deadlines that are set by our managers, by our leaders, and so on, many a times actually causes these kind of burnouts to the team members also. So it is very important. This is a message as an experienced leader. I am telling you, this is going to cost us a lot. This is going to really, going to impact us a lot. Rather than giving the unrealistic deadlines, give the deadlines with the right reason, justification, including the burnout reason as one of the reason, and take the right idealistic time from your customer for your deliverables rather than struggling at the end. Once the burnout hits among your team, you will not be able to deal with it because you have to get someone else. You have to replace the team member if that situation comes in. And then the new person is going to take over. He or she may or may not know about your project. By the time they come up to speed, it may be another 2 to 3 weeks. You are going to lose all this time. Hence, the unrealistic deadlines is very, very dangerous. Lack of recognition or growth, this is another, thing. Many a times what happens is that we are continuously making the team work, but we are actually not focusing on their recognition, continuous recognition. Even it can be small. Even if you can just say, give a kind of a greeting, a well, good job done, or even there are so many, every organization has one or the other kind of way to recognize, right? There are rewards that are given. You can continuously reward those people. Many a times I have seen in my own experience that we are given some budget to make sure that the rewards and recognition are given. But I see many people who don't even consume it. At the end of the year, we see that the recognition budget is just lying there. That's not even being spent. That's a bad thing. I mean, that I think that I definitely make sure in my team at least that, I continuously push my team, my next level project managers, leads, and everyone. And continuously, I get a report to make sure that everyone is making use of the budget and everyone is getting recognized for the work. And obviously, poor work-life balance. As I said, it is very important that the blur or the thin line between professional work and the personal life is maintained sufficiently. If we are unable to maintain it, this is the problem that we get into. The work-life balance is very, very important. Many a times we will not be able to do it because of the load that you have, because of, the kind of psychological strength that we need to deliver. We may not be having it, right? So many a times it continuously keeps ringing about, okay, what am I to do? What is the next? What's next? What next? It goes on and on. The mind doesn't sleep, right? It continuously starts thinking about the work. But it is very important that we need to maintain that work-life balance. I have seen even in my own organization, and of course in many organizations, there are provisions that are given to have some kind of wellness coach or there are gyms that are made available, or there are gym subscriptions that are given to the employees. Please ensure that you are giving that opportunity to your teams. Please ensure that you are encouraging your team to make use of those facilities that are available. I have seen in my own organization, there are like, it's like world-class gym that is being built my organization. It's available. You know, I go many a times, I make use of it. Whenever I am in office, at least twice a week, I make use of that gym. I encourage my team to go there, spend some time, not a problem. Don't worry about the work. So it's very important. But for all this to happen, you need to have a scientific mechanism or a tool that can actually give you the pattern of the team, which team is on what side, right? With that, you can actually take the relevant actions that are needed. Obviously, low managerial support, it's very important. As a manager, I also came from that, manager level. So it is very important that we need to make sure the team, we need to know more about them, have conversations with them continuous. It's not just about the work conversation. It is very important that we know many things about what's happening in their life as well. If it is too personal, obviously we are not going to ask. But otherwise, I think there is nothing wrong in having a coffee with the team, trying to talk to them, understand about it. Can be as simple as, okay, what movie that you have watched over the weekend, for example, right? What have you done over the weekend? What are your hobbies? Okay, and similar kind of things, right? I keep doing that whenever there is an opportunity. I travel outside as well, and I keep talking to the team. I make sure I call them out for lunch. I have a coffee, tea with them. It can be as simple as that, right? And that actually makes it big difference among the team. They treat you not with your level or with your grade or with your title, but they treat you more like you are their friend and the person whom they can rely, they can trust, and they can share their concerns if there are any, like this called burnout, and which is very severe. And obviously, prolonged stress and fatigue, this is very important. If it happens once, it's fine. But if it is happening continuously, if someone is getting burnt out project to project, moved from project to project, and still the same 12 hours of stress, 16 hours of stress, people feel that it is going to be taking their life. It is very important. So finally, what happens? Of course, they will be, at the end of the day, they will be leaving the organizations, that one aspect of it, but their own personal life, including their dependents, their loved ones, are also going to be impacted because of this. So it's very important that all of us, if we look at it, all of us need to take care of these things quite seriously. I'll move on in the interest of time. So what are the hidden costs? Obviously, we have been talking about it. While it is going to impact our project deliverables and so on, it's also going to impact a lot of other factors. Yeah, as it is showing up here, loss of productivity, right? It's going to impact quite a lot. When someone suddenly on a Friday evening or on a Thursday evening, when you have a deliverable to be given to the customer, when you have a deliverable where you need to go live, or there is a fix that you need to provide to the customer, the person suddenly gone, right? For whatsoever reason. Maybe it's a medical reason he or she mentions and they're off. So it's a loss. You have to immediately figure out alternate plans and you have to juggle it around and then do that. It's a burnout for you yourself as well, right? Because you have to work all over Saturdays, Sundays, whatever, and then somehow fix it. And obviously, the replacement and training. As I said in the previous example, you have to find a replacement, and it's not so easy, right? You have to find the same person. You must have already had a good relation with the previous person. He or she, you must have already connected. They know the project, they know the delivery, what is going to happen. But by the time the new person comes in, that's also a cost. It's called as replacement cost, right? The quality drop, obviously, there is a quality of the deliverable which this person who has been consistently delivering, superbly trusted guy, you know, he or she moved out because of the burnout. They could not able to share. You have got another one, but obviously the quality is going to drop. The engagement loss, as I said, he or she are new. You are trying to understand them. They are trying to understand you. They are also trying to find out from other team members, hey, what happened previously? That Ravi guy was there. He moved out. What happened? For example, right? Then they will say, no, Ravi is facing some, kind of, he's a great guy, but unfortunately he's going through some medical issues and so on, then this guy also feels scary. Oh, okay, I mean, what is happening in this project? Why everyone suddenly going on leaves and so on? That is also a problem for us, right? Then obviously team morale, the team, 10 people, 11th guy comes in, this person also need to engage with them. If he is a lead kind of a person, then he need to manage all this team, right? He need to manage his own deliverables. That also impacts the whole deliverable or the cost. It actually is a great impact for us from the cost perspective. All these, usually we don't see them tangibly. We don't see them like in a dollar value. But when you actually look at it, when you actually convert all these into the dollar values, they become big. They in fact, they are going to impact your budgets of your projects as well, because these are all the ones which are very intangible. Usually we don't take them so seriously, but when you actually convert them into a quantified dollar value, then is where you can actually understand the severity of these losses that we have. And among all this, innovation is the other thing, or creativity, innovative, or the way kind of, the creative ideas that are being given by the current team versus the new person who is going to come. That's also we are going to miss. Because so far, that Ravi gentleman, he has been giving fantastic contribution to the team. He has been the ideator. He has been coming up with creative ideas or solutions to the team, but suddenly he's gone, right? So what happens? I mean, the entire innovation or the creativity is lost, and then people will be just looking at it saying that, okay, what happened? Suddenly the entire team got collapsed. These are some softer things which we need to also identify, and then make sure that we are not reaching to this stage, even from the tangible or intangible impacts point of view. So how are we going to really make sure that we are reaching to the actual stage? I mean, we are going to identify. As I was saying, I've already spoken about this, but let me reiterate once again because this is an important topic. Encourage balanced workloads. How we are going to do that? We need to have a technological proven tool which can help us in actually identifying those patterns, as I was saying, right? People who are actually in the middle, it's still fine. They are doing their work, they are doing their deliverable, it's fine. They are the good team or to be having team, right? There are people both sides. People who are overstretching themselves, they are already moved towards the burnout stage. There are people on the gray out stage where, there is an opportunity for them, this load can be balanced. That's why this kind of a balanced workloads is something that is very important. Taking the previous example, let's say that Ravi gentleman who was in this in this green zone, who was overstretching himself or so. Whereas there is other person called Suresh, he is in the gray zone. That means he is waiting for some kind of work to be given. So the work could have been actually from Ravi could have been balanced to Suresh. Because that was not done, Ravi had to go on medical leave, and we as leaders, we as managers and so on, we had to struggle, and we get into a burnout situation. Obviously, support mental well-being programs, not only mental, physical. I encourage even physical as well. As I said, do some, make use of the facilities that are available if they are in your office or so. Go for a walk, make sure that you are actually having some conversations. Sometimes close your laptop, make sure that you are doing something completely different than, the work part. Have some, inculcate some hobbies. It can be as simple. You can do some gardening on your balcony itself. It doesn't need to be gardening per se, right? It can be a simple gardening. Have some hobby. Maybe it's a music, maybe it's a singing, maybe it's something else, swimming, and so on and so forth, right? There are so many hobbies that are available. So make sure that you are taking up those kind of hobbies which are not related to the work, and also encourage your team. What these days I have started in my organization since last, as I said, post COVID, is that I have started these hobby clubs in my team. So especially there are two types. One is obviously these hobby clubs. What they do is that every month, 1 hour, we make sure that everyone comes into that call, and if we are in the same office, I operate out of Hyderabad. We have good amount of people here. We all get into one conference room or so. And then we ask everyone to showcase their hobby, if it is possible, right? Not everything can be showcased, like swimming and all can't be showcased in a meeting room or so. But as much as possible, we ask them, okay, are you going to the what you are swimming? Are you practicing your music? Are you going to any other activities, to a walking or a trekking and so on and so forth? Are you, what has been happening with your gardening? So these things that we do. And someone really, if he's a music guy and so on, which can be showcased, we ask them to actually sing, just to have some fun. Nobody is allowed to touch their laptops during that 1 hour, 90 minutes of time. We make sure that we are just having closed laptop, no work. It happens on the work day, last Friday. That's the slot that we have booked for ourselves. So same way, use data to detect. As I said, there has to be technology. We have to make use of the technology to make sure that yeah, we are getting this done better and in a more scientific manner. And obviously, if the technology actually helps in to provide the data, we can actually go back to our execs and to the management with the right data sets. It's not just a generic statement saying that hey, my team is in the burnout situation. No, we have the scientifically proven data, which we can take to the management and ask either for additional people, ask for more experienced people, ask for more competency-based people, or ask for more facilities in our organization, more rewards and recognition, growth opportunities, and so on and so forth also can be done if you have the right data points to be presented. Okay, now let's go to the poll. What it talks about is about what are the burnout signals are hardest for your team to identify. Let's see. I hope people are punching. If I would say, if I would look at it, drop in creativity, skipped breaks, yeah, they are fine. We can skip breaks and all. Yes, we can easily recognize. But the most hardest thing is about fatigue buildup, in my opinion. Where it is not visible, where the person is going through what situation we can't see. And especially in the current virtual teaming environment, we'll not be able to find out, right? Skip breaks and all, also it is very difficult because people are spread across. But in the same office, yes, we can find out. We ask them. I keep asking people who skip their lunch and all that. I push them to join me for lunch. But fatigue buildup or reduced collaboration are very difficult to find out. Very difficult. So many a times people don't come, join the calls, join the meeting, and they don't speak up in the meetings. They don't come in front of camera, as I said, right? So these are all some indications that they are very difficult to find out. Even though you talk to them one on one, they rarely speak about these kind of things. They only talk about their work. They are closed, and then they say, "Okay, everything is going good, PC, no problem at all." But unfortunately, the fatigue might be building up for them. They don't speak up. We only need to find out in a way, in some way or the other, we have to find out. Okay, so I hope the voting is completed. We'll move on. Now, okay, good, yeah. So what are we talking? So here the workflow overload, as I said, it has its own hidden burnout risk. It's going to talk about, how we are going to identify the risk of the burnout of our team and including ourselves, in fact, right? I'm adding ourselves also every time, not only about the team itself, because it is very important to first we take care of ourselves. Only then, obviously, we can actually go back and lead the team with the right example. So it's, as I said, unless it is very much balanced, unless it is very much taken care well in advance with the right data points in a very scientific manner, adopting to the technology, that's the right way to really deal with these burnout issues. There are softer dimensions to it, and it is a sensitive topic. Many a times people may not be really interested to talk about, but it is very important that we should be speaking up about those things, right? We should make the team open up. We should create such kind of a congenial environment where people are open to speak up, talk to us, talk to at least their immediate managers, and so on. For this, one of the immediate thing it did not, I mean, I wanted to share. One of the other thing that I have done is that I have started a women club. I was talking about the other clubs, right? Two clubs I was saying. One is that, fun club or so. The other one is about the women's club. So there are a good amount of women employees in my team, where again, this women, there are a couple of senior leaders who are there. They continuously in constant touch with our team, with the women employees. And then they talk about, they discuss, they talk about the other than work related. It's not about work, right? It's other than work related activities, any concerns, any issues that they have, any support that they need, so on and so forth. This women club actually works towards. There are some trainings that get organized. There are some meetings that get organized with the external psychological coach. There are some one-on-one coaching sessions that are planned. All of that happens in this women's club. So that's also very important, especially when we are working in this diversity environment. It is very important to take care, irrespective of the gender of the people, right? It is very important. Sometimes people may not be able to share everything with us. So that's why what we have done is that there is a women's club that's available, supported by or led by the women leader. She leads this initiative, and then she talks to all my women employees, understanding if any are anything that we can do as a team. So yeah, it's very important for all of us. Now, from me, I would really want to see how a technology can help us, how a tool can really help us to make sure that we are taking up these kind of initiatives, these kind of steps, more in a with the data points, with the right insights, to make sure that we are moving in the green zone, the middle zone, which is neither this side, the deep green, nor on the gray out zone, or less worked, right? So we'll see how this tool called TimeChamp is going to help us. And then I'm going to hand it over to Shivangi. She is going to walk us through about the tool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhakar. So I'm going to take over from here. Just a second.
Yeah.
I'll start sharing my screen. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a little confusing because we both are sharing the same screen, right? So I think it is mine. All right. Cool. So awesome. Thank you so much, Prabhakar. And now I'm going to take over. And everyone, let's now switch from the problem. Like we understood where the problem is lying, what we all are facing, right? But now it is time to see how modern teams are actually solving the problem of burnout. And this is exactly where TimeChamp comes in. So TimeChamp is our workforce intelligence platform, which is designed to do something very simple yet incredibly powerful. It is designed to help leaders spot burnout, imbalance, disengagement weeks before it slows down the performance. Think of it like a real time lens into how your teams actually work, not to police them, but to protect them actually. And the best part is everything you saw in earlier slides and earlier discussions that Prabhakar was sharing, the silent fatigue, skip breaks, and hidden overload. Time Gem brings visibility to all of the things that we have discussed. And this is exactly why we are having a conversation about it right now. Okay, 1 second. Can I? Yes. And now, when we say why Time Champ, as you see this slide, Time Champ simply focuses on four critical areas. The number one is utilization. Why? What does utilization mean? Are people overworked, underworked? Are they working healthy hours or not? This is the number one question that it is going to give you visibility on. Second thing is granting work-life balance patterns. Who is stretching themselves too thin, who is not getting enough focus time, and all these things. And the third thing is accurate activity and attendance visibility. We don't provide any guesswork, we just provide exact real patterns as per the input we get. And the fourth thing is early burnout signs through heat maps, insights, and so many things that we have on our platform. So most HR systems that we see in the market, they are currently telling us who was present and who was not. timestamp tells you how they are actually, what they are actually doing and how they are actually doing. And that is the exact difference that we make. Okay. Now, okay, 1 second. I think I don't see my own screen. I do now. Just a second. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
I got stuck. 1 second, huh? I'm just trying to change and it's not changing. Yeah, okay. Got it. So now here's one of my favorite parts of time champs, that is heat maps. When you see this view, it becomes impossible to ignore the overload. And that is exactly why we have created it. You can instantly see long hour days. You can identify phases where productivity dips. You can spot people who quietly push late nights. And you can also catch irregular working patterns, and that could eventually become the disengagement. These visual patterns are going to help managers intervene early, often with a very simple conversation that prevents weeks of burnout. This is how powerful the platform, or this is the ultimate goal that we are having with our platform. So when we talk about the key features of our platform, when we say utilization, like utilization is actually where most teams underestimate the risk. This feature is going to show you exactly who is overutilized, which resource is underutilized, who is balanced, and how these patterns change over week. Because let's suppose if a person, because many times what happens is, uh, teams look busy, but the actual distribution work is absolutely uneven. We all have seen that, right? One person is drowning, another is disengaged. So time champ is actually built to bring this imbalance into light so you can fix it before morale of your team cracks in. So this is exactly what the utilization feature is going to help you with. Now the next feature we talk about is actionable insights. So timechamp is not just about tracking data. We have moved way beyond that, and that's why we call it a workforce intelligence platform. We do not just track data, we explain it. Okay, it automatically generates your insights, like the team's focused work is dropping. The employees fatigue index is rising. For example, this domain is showing lower productivity trends, something like this, so that managers can edit these insights and add their own as well. It's not that if a system is going to take over, then they are going to take over 100%. It is 100% customizable, because human insights are as important as it is. So managers can anytime edit these insights, they can add their input, and therefore they can have a seamless platform where they can get all the insights, why, what, and how. Okay, and it is actually not a tool to dictate everything, but it is essentially built as a coaching tool, right? Coaching tool built right into the analytics that you get. Now the next thing that we focus on, next feature that we focus on, is work life balance. Okay, when we talk about work life balance, we all keep on saying work life balance, but somehow when it comes to actual implementation or ensuring work life balance in organizations, we often feel confused, because we don't have the data how balanced our team is. Okay, so here is exactly how well-being and performance meet for us. So timechamp is going to track your focused hours, productive hours, break durations, and recovery patterns as well. When you talk about all these things, we are not, if you see the pattern, we are not just tracking your hours, we are not just tracking your punch in and punch out, but we are also tracking the recovery pattern of all the employees, which can be different for different people. You can also compare teams and instantly understand which departments are under the most pressure. So it becomes very easy for you, to spot the burnout prone roles before actually people starts slipping. Okay, so these are the things that we are focusing on. And the next feature is automated attendance. So this slide shows something very powerful, that is the true attendance. You don't have to punch in, punch out. There's nothing like log in or log out. There's no also not also self-reported timesheet kind of things. But the real working hours we are trying to capture passively through system activity. This is going to help you understand real work hours for hybrid and remote teams, because that is one of the most important thing that people need to track. if teams are scattered through different locations and they are working remotely. This is also going to help you spot people working irregular or unhealthy hours. When we talk about productivity, it is not that people need to work more, but people need to be productive. They need to be efficient. So even if somebody is working excessively, it also tracks that. It also detect early fatigue patterns. For example, a person is stretching for 10 hours in a day, another day a person has been stretching for 12 hours, and if the similar patterns keep on going again and again, then it's obvious that fatigue is going to happen. Okay, so these are the things that TimeChamp is going to help you predict, track, monitor all these things so that you can make the right decisions before all these things happen. Also, it creates fairness and transparencies in teams rather than, blaming anybody or having any kind of conflict in that. And also, breaks are tracked, which allows everyone in your teams to have healthy boundaries. Okay, having healthy boundaries is also very important. Now, when we talk about, you know, your team's workload balance, then let's quickly understand how often do you check on your team's workload balance. If you are a team lead, manager, then how often do you go ahead and check your team's workload balance? Can you guys can we run a poll quickly? Can we run a poll on this? How often do you usually check on your team's workload balance? Cool. So sometimes people are checking it weekly, sometimes we are checking it monthly, sometimes when we see when it's already too late, when the real issue arises, or sometimes we rarely or we don't even check it. This is the truth for so many people, right? And the most dangerous thing is that when you check it once the issue arises, the main goal is that you should be able to get visibility on things even before it happens, right? So now let me show you how TimeChamp is going to help you predict this burnout even before it happens. So everything comes together here. If you see the slide, TimeChamp is going to help you predict burnout by studying your activity fluctuations, break and recovery patterns, changes in collaboration, drops in focus, and irregular work hours. It flags these signals early so managers can step in with simple intervention like redistributing work, adjusting expectations, or offering support. If you see the entire, if you have been working in corporates for some time, you know the problem. No problem is a huge problem. It becomes a huge problem only when we are too late to identify it, when we are too late to predict it and take action. When these patterns are flagged on time, we can easily solve them by simple things like redistribution of work, adjustment of expectations, support, and collaborations, right? So burnout becomes preventable and not just discoverable with TimeChamp. Discovering burnout is absolutely fine, but we can also predict and avoid the burnout before even it happens. Okay, now let's see how many people, like how many other companies have already faced these things. So, one of the largest IT organizations in Japan faced a huge challenge. Their employees were logging long overtime hours without any transparency. Not only it was burnout was raising, but even the company was at compliance risk because of Japan's strict labor laws, right? We have labor laws everywhere that there are set number of hours, so within that people should be working, but they had been working crazy amount of time. So now when they implemented TimeChamp, what they got is overtime alerts. When a person was doing overtime, they were getting it the alerts in real time. Managers were getting true visibility into workload patterns. Employees could manage their schedules better, and work life health became measurable for them. Within months, they saw a 30% reduction in overtime, better transparency, and a healthier workplace for their employees. So when we see all this pattern, it's not about control. It is more about awareness of what is happening. And that is the ultimate value point that we have for Time Champ here. Okay, so now when we talk about for everything, for everyone who is here having a conversation with us, thinking about the tech side, Time Champ easily integrates with HRMs. Now you might be having the question, right? Because yeah, so you might be having the questions like, where we already have a set of tools in our organization. Is it going to, if we jump to Time Champ, is it going to change the entire thing? Or how is it going to integrate with us? So about the tech side, let's get a little technical. Time Champ easily integrates with all the HRMS, ERP, and productivity tools. It can also scale from 10 people to 20,000 employees without heavy implementation effort. The main value proposition from the tech side is that we are super customizable, super flexible tool, and we can customize for any kind of organizations that we have. You can simply have Time Champ. You can monitor stress levels across organization and also get alerts for roles that are more prone to burnout. Okay, and now when we talk about these things, now the question if you might be having, why does all this matter? Right? Why does all this matter? Why do I even need a burnout detection tool? Because the simple reason to the question is because when we talk about all the traditional HR metrics and tools in the market, they only show us the output. They do not show strain. But with Time Champ, burnout is detected before it affects your quality or deadlines. Productivity is restored proactively, and teams become more balanced, and finally, managers get time, real time to support or lead better. Right? Otherwise, managers are just under a lot of spreadsheets, raw data, and all those things, and they are trying to manage or decode those things, but they are not actually getting insights. With Time Champ, they are not just going to get the data or raw data spreadsheets. They are going to get the meaning of the data, actual insights, so that they can focus their time and energy or where they should be focusing. So you see, the shift from reactive to proactive is what creates a truly healthy, high performing workforce. Right? So now go ahead, guys. Time Champ, we don't measure the productivity. We when you have Time Champ in your organization, you don't just manage productivity. You manage energy, focus, and balance. These are the most humanly things to manage, and then only we'll be able to build a high performing burnout free workforce for us. Okay, so this is, let me change the slide again. Okay, so what was happening for all the tools, like with all the tools, burnout was discovered, but somehow when it has already happened. Productivity was declining, but people were getting to know once the deadlines have already met. Fatigue, disengagement was coming when there was a big conflict or people were having, people were leaving the organization. But with Time Champ, you can simply detect the burnout early. Productivity can be restored proactively, and your team is going to be balanced and motivated. This is the ultimate thing that we want to bring with Time Champ here. And now, before we move to the QS question answer or anything, here's the best part. You can try Time Champ completely free for 7 days. So what happens is, you guys might be having whether we should be adopting this tool or not, because this is a huge business decision. So before you spend any money, anything, we strongly recommend everyone who has joined here to go ahead and try Time Champ completely free for 7 days, because we also want every single person who chooses us, every single organization who decides to go on Time Champ, they should first be sure about the decision. Okay, so during this trial, you will get a custom burnout and well-being report for your organization that is going to show you who is overloaded, who needs support, and how work patterns really flow inside your teams. So there's no commitment, just clarity. Go ahead and you can simply book a 7 days free trial today. Okay, so just scan this. I think may I request my team to put the link as well, So just go ahead, book a demo with us. There is no commitment. All you can do this, you can book a 15-minute call with us. Our team is going to show you how it works, how it integrates. Start your 7-day trial and get your insights within 5 days. Okay, we are here to help you build a workplace where people are supported, balanced, and energized, and not just busy. Okay, let's open the floor for question. If you guys have any questions at all, please let us know. So what you can do is, you can we have already dropped the link in the chat. Book a 15-minute call with our team. We'll immediately arrange a call for you. We are going to set your system for 7 days trial on TimeChamp, and within 5 days you are going to get all your insights in your inbox, so that you can visualize how it is going to impact your entire team, entire workplace, and the culture once you fully adapt to TimeChamp. So have a have a clear visibility of how it is working, and then take a conscious decision. So if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to let us know here, and we would love to answer any of your questions. Or even if you feel like you're going back, you're going to discuss things, and then you are going to have a question, please note down all these things, that you can simply come and you can put an email on product support at timechamp.io, or you can simply call us anytime. Also on our website, we have the book demo page. Anytime you feel your team, your decision makers, they need to book a call with us to understand the platform better, feel free to do it. And you also have the link here in the chat, so please go ahead, book a call. If you have any question, feel free to let us know. But let's ensure that we try it before making a decision to say yes or no. Okay, let's build workplaces who support the employees, who who predicts the burnout, attrition, and all these things. Because rather than feeling sorry as a workplace, we should be able to detect things, and we should be able to support our teams, our clients, and most importantly, our core people who are actually building the organizations. Okay, so please go ahead and book a call. Call us, ping us, email us if you have any questions. But I would definitely ask everyone to at least book a demo and try it for 7 days, and then make a conscious decision. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on such an important topic, which was stress, burnout. Thank you so much, Prabhakar, for the wonderful presentation, discussion. It was super insightful, and it's actually special for us, coming from a person like you, who has been very a prominent name in the industry. And it's like, when you are saying something like this, it's like been there, done that, right? So it's a great time. Like on Friday, we had a chance to hear all this from you. So thank you so much, Prabhakar, and thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you, Shivangi.
Thank
Great
you.
job done.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.